Joining me to discuss it all is Arseniy, the former Prime Minister of Ukraine from 2014 to 2016. He is now the chair of the Kyiv Security Forum. It's good to see you in person.
My pleasure.
Thank you for coming in. Do you think, listening to all that's gone across Europe today, that we're sufficiently prepared to deal with this hybrid threat?
Look, Putin resorts to his usual tactics: scaremongering and warmongering. So he tries to frighten you, and he just said that in case if Americans provide long-range missiles, this would escalate. But you just provided an explicit evidences that Russia is escalating. And the only language Putin understands is the language of strength. So he's doing it on purpose. On the one hand, he wants to test Article 5 and Article 4 of the Washington Treaty. On the other hand, he wants to check the way the NATO military is to respond. And he wants to frighten your population, saying that, look, if you don't abandon Ukraine, I'm going to attack you. But my message is very clear. If you abandon Ukraine, he is definitely to attack you.
If strength is the answer, intelligence on long-range targets from the Americans would be very useful, wouldn't it?
Well, intelligence is just the piece of the puzzle. What is needed desperately for Ukraine? We need a new security supplemental for Ukraine. So we desperately need ammo, financial support, secondary sanctions, pressure on China, some kind of talks with India to win India of the Russian dependence on hydrocarbons. And I believe it is time to confiscate Russian assets. But it is high time.
If intelligence is being provided, that is pretty significant news, which we sort of lost yesterday with all the events that were happening here. That suggests to me that Donald Trump is toughening his line against Vladimir Putin.
So I hope so, because Donald Trump made the U-turn during the UNGA when he posted on his true social media saying that, look, Ukraine can regain and reclaim an entire territory with the support of the European Union. I hope he just mentioned, he missed to mention the United States, but we desperately need Americans on board. So you just mentioned the intelligence. Intelligence is a piece of the puzzle once more, and there was a very good cooperation between Ukrainian and American intelligence and Five Eyes. So I don't want to comment on this, but the thing is that what is needed, we desperately need ammo and long-range missiles.
But our team here, our verified team, has been looking this week, it's online if people want to take a look, that you are having some success, the Ukrainians, in targeting the oil refineries, the fuel infrastructure around the country. To what extent, do you think?
Look what's happening in Russia right now. Look at the Russian economy on the one hand. On the other hand, look, this war is going on for 11 years, not for 3.5 years. Putin illegally annexed Crimea 11 years ago, and he didn't manage to take over Ukraine, even despite the fact that he has nukes, he had Soviet stockpiles, he had enormous resources. He failed in Ukraine. But whether Ukraine is winning right now, not yet, because we need to get more support out of our Western friends.
If he pushes back on the supply of intelligence or indeed tomahawks...
sorry, you just mentioned about these oil refineries. Yeah. They are in a high deficit of gasoline due to the fact that Ukrainians hit the targets.
So it is proving successful.
Correct.
If the intelligence and the tomahawks were to antagonize Vladimir Putin, that clip that we played suggests that he is antagonized by it. He has threatened that he would start hitting infrastructure in Ukraine, such as the nuclear power plant in Zaporizhzhia. Oh. Is it protected, and what would be the impact of a direct strike on it?
So he is constantly doing it. So his plan for the next winter is very clear. It is called General Frost. So he wants to freeze Ukraine. He wants to impose a new blackout for Ukraine. And the message that he is ready to attack Ukrainian nuclear power plants, it's a kind of another nuclear saber-rattling. So he wants to instigate a fear in the Western societies and in Ukraine. Here is the thing. The only language he understands is a very strong response and strong actions. So please...
Just a final question, I'm pressed for time. Why do you think at the UN General Assembly last week, President Trump suddenly switched his tone and said, maybe Ukraine can win this war and win all of its territory back? What has changed, given that what we see on the ground, actually, is the Russians inching, albeit slowly, inching forward?
Well, Russians are making just incremental gains. What has changed? This meeting in Anchorage pushed President Trump to realize that Putin wants first to play him and that Putin wants to humiliate him. And I believe that Trump doesn't want to be humiliated. He has realized that there was no compromise. Even despite the fact that there was a red carpet and limo sharing with designated war criminal Putin, he didn't get anything, I mean Trump. And Putin got everything. And so Trump has realized that he has to act. Otherwise, the world is closely watching who is the leader of the world. And Trump doesn't want to lose this position.
Mr. Yatsenyuk, it's good to see you in person. Thank you for coming in.
Pleasure.
Good to talk to you.